Brilliant but reclusive scientist Dr. Evelyn Reed has just invented a time machine. She can't wait to try it out, so she sets the dials for 700 years ago and travels back to meet Leonardo da Vinci, one of history's greatest geniuses, whose work she's always loved. But what happens when two geniuses from different centuries meet? And how will history change when someone from the future changes the past? Let's find out! In Florence, Italy, 1498, Evelyn Reed stumbles through time, landing right in front of an astonished Leonardo da Vinci. She'd never met anyone who didn't know who he was, much less someone who came from the future. At first, Leonardo thinks she's some kind of angel come to take him to heaven, but Evelyn soon assures him that she's just a scientist from the 21st century who traveled back in time. She explains everything about her invention and the vast differences between their centuries. Fascinated, Leonardo invites Evelyn to his workshop where he shows her some of his inventions, including his famous flying machine, which he believes could one day be used to fly to the heavens. Though Leonardo is excited to see how the future turned out, Evelyn feels like the legendary inventor would have done more harm than good if he had ever lived to see the next 5 centuries. He was, after all, the one who started the Renaissance's obsession with humanism, individualism, and secularism, all of which led to the scientific revolution, which led to the Industrial Revolution, which led to the world as she knew it. A world that, thanks to her inventing time travel, she now had the power to change. Evelyn encourages Leonardo to consider how his inventions could help people in the present, such as using his knowledge of mechanics to design better prosthetics, or using his artistic skills to create realistic training simulations for soldiers and first responders, instead of wasting his talents creating weapons. Leonardo agrees, saying that he hopes one day his art will inspire people to reach for the stars. The two geniuses spend several days together before Evelyn has to return home. Not only did she convince Leonardo to use his genius for good, she also learned many things from him, such as how to make self-destruct mechanisms for her time machine that even he couldn't figure out. Saying goodbye is hard, but she knows that she must return to her own time to prevent any paradoxes from happening. As she steps into her time machine and returns home, Evelyn realizes that time travel has changed her. For one thing, she can now speak Italian, though unfortunately no one around her speaks Italian, so she can't put her new skills to use. But soon enough, she'll get another chance. After some tinkering, Evelyn's time machine is ready for its second jump. This time, she sets the coordinates for 32 BC and prepares to meet Cleopatra, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic kingdom of Egypt. When Evelyn arrives, she finds that Cleopatra isn't exactly what she expected. In fact, the great queen is actually quite young, having taken the throne at just 14 years old. Still, Cleopatra is as sharp as Evelyn expected, though she seems more interested in Evelyn's stories about the future than Evelyn is in hearing about ancient Egyptian politics. Unfortunately, Cleopatra's two advisors, her brother and lover, are less fascinated by stories of the distant future and more concerned with getting rid of a suspicious foreigner. They think Evelyn is a spy sent by Rome to assassinate Cleopatra, especially when they learn she's carrying a weapon that looks suspiciously like a dagger. Cleopatra insists that Evelyn stay in her palace while she sorts things out, but little does she know that her brother and lover have already informed Rome of her presence. Soon, Roman soldiers arrive at the palace, demanding that Cleopatra hand Evelyn over. In the ensuing chaos, Evelyn reveals the truth of her origins, though nobody believes her. To prove it, she pulls out her smartphone and starts browsing YouTube videos of ancient Egypt. Of course, this doesn't convince the Romans, who promptly arrest her and prepare to take her back to Rome. Evelyn spends several weeks in prison before finally being brought before Caesar Augustus himself. When he hears her story, he laughs and locks her up again. That is, until Cleopatra's mother, the former queen of Egypt, hears about the imprisoned time traveler and demands she be brought before her. The ex-queen believes Evelyn's story and helps her escape from Rome. Back in Alexandria, Evelyn is finally free. But although Cleopatra is grateful for her help, she still wants revenge against Rome. Evelyn tries to talk her out of it, knowing that Cleopatra's attempts to defy Rome will lead to her demise and the end of the Ptolemaic kingdom. But Cleopatra won't listen, and soon Evelyn is swept up in the queen's plot to destroy the Roman fleet stationed near Alexandria. The plan involves planting explosives inside the harbor to blow up the ships. But when Evelyn inspects the harbor, she realizes there are too many ships for the explosives to destroy. In the end, Cleopatra's plan fails, and she's forced to flee with Evelyn in tow. Eventually, the two arrive at the shores of a familiar land. It's time for Evelyn to go home. Before she leaves, though, Cleopatra admits that she was wrong, and as Evelyn watches, the queen takes her own life. Rather than rule under Rome, Cleopatra chooses death. Back in the present, Evelyn has to come to terms with the fact that despite traveling back in time, she wasn't able to change anything. In fact, she may have made things worse. Despite helping Leonardo focus his genius on helping humanity and warning Cleopatra about the dangers of defying Rome, Evelyn has inadvertently helped both women achieve greater notoriety. Leonardo da Vinci is already a legend, but his inventions might have given him even more fame. And now Cleopatra's last stand against Rome has become a famous story of bravery against impossible odds. Dejected, Evelyn considers giving up on time travel, but she knows that she can't let a little thing like the fate of the future get in the way of a good experiment. With a renewed sense of purpose, she sets off on her third journey, this time traveling to 1219 Mongolia. Her mission: meet the infamous Genghis Khan, founder of the Mongol Empire, which would become the largest contiguous land-based empire in history. But when Evelyn meets Genghis, she finds that the great warrior is not what she expected. Instead of being a brutal conqueror, Genghis turns out to be a thoughtful leader who cares deeply about his people. He welcomes Evelyn as an honored guest and asks her to teach his people about the future. Though Evelyn is reluctant to share advanced technology with a potential warmonger, she eventually agrees. She teaches the Mongols about advanced medicine, engineering, and agriculture, hoping that it will help them improve their lives in the present. But she also learns a lot from them, such as how to be a better leader. Although she's never been one to seek attention, Evelyn has always been a bit insecure. But Genghis helps her see that being a strong leader doesn't mean being weak. And as she watches him rally his people to defend their homeland from an invading army, she sees the true meaning of courage. Soon, it's time for Evelyn to move on, but she knows that she's leaving the Mongols in a better position to succeed. As she travels home, she reflects on the many ways that time travel has changed. Though she hasn't been able to change major historical events, she has made small differences that have ripple effects throughout history. For example, she taught Cleopatra how to build a computer, which led to the queen developing the world's first digital device. But she also unwittingly inspired the Mongols to build a massive war machine that would conquer most of Asia. Evelyn realizes that she can't keep changing history without causing major problems. But she doesn't want to stop either. She just needs to find a way to do it safely. And she thinks she might have found the answer when she meets one of the most important figures in American history. Harriet Tubman, born into slavery. Tubman escaped to freedom in the North, then returned south to lead other slaves to freedom. As Evelyn watches Tubman lead a group of slaves to safety, she realizes that the true secret to time travel is helping people rather than trying to change history. By doing nothing more than lending her knowledge and experience to those in need, Evelyn has already made a difference. But she also learns a lot from Tubman, such as how to be brave in the face of danger. As Evelyn travels back to her own time, she knows that she has found the key to save time travel. Instead of trying to change history, she will simply help people. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. And as she watches the ripple effects of her actions throughout time, she knows that she has made the world a better place. So what do you think? Would you use time travel to change history or preserve it as it is? Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching.